What's up and welcome to the Indie Credible Podcast, Season 2, Episode 34, a weekly podcast where we get together and chat about the world of indie gaming. We go through all the indie games we've been playing, we go through the latest indie game news, and we cover our main topic. This week's main topic is a little bit of a silly, light-hearted one, where we're talking about, there's lots of indie games that take inspiration from big, iconic games or franchises, whatever you want to call it. What franchise, indie game, whatever you want to call it, would we want to see an indie game take the ideas from? So, for example, we Close to the Sun took inspiration from Bioshock.
Yeah.
So many games have taken inspiration from Castlevania or Metroid or something like that. So, what single game or franchise would we like to see an indie game company go, we are going to do a spiritual successor to this kind of game? So that's what we're going to talk about at the end. Before we get there, we're going to talk about what we've been playing, and we go through the latest indie game news. And doing that with me, as always, is Dan.
Hello.
From At the Dice Bear. And you can't see Tom now because he's currently
invisible.
Yeah, he's invisible.
You remember the Invisible Man? Yeah,
So,
well,
we played around with some. We got this package come through, and it was all like "Do not open," and we opened it, played around with it.
obviously opened it.
All of a sudden,
He's gone.
he's gone. You can't hear him either, actually, but we might refer to him throughout the podcast, and hopefully he comes back, or you can hear him at some point.
Maybe through the camera. Maybe it works like Poltergeist.
Maybe. Oh, don't. 'Cause that's
That's scary.
like as a kid, that was. Everyone has the film that scared them.
Yeah.
I remember my mum sitting me down. I always went to Alien and Silence of the Lambs were the films that were on my top shelf that I wanted to watch. And Mum was like, "You're too young, you're too young, you're too young." I watched Alien when I was probably about...
Hang on, but she let you watch Poltergeist?
No, she didn't.
Oh,
That's the
okay,
thing.
right, okay.
So there was a few other films on there, but Poltergeist never appealed to me because you look at the cover of the Poltergeist, it's this kid on the TV.
Yeah.
Whereas like Alien was like,
yeah.
and Silence of the Lambs was like, this is just look weird.
What's this weird moth with the skull in it?
Yeah. So I remember she watched them both with me. I was about 10 when I watched Alien and Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs, I was too young to understand why it was so chilling and terrifying. Yeah. Alien was genuinely quite scary, but I loved it. She was out and I had a babysitter one time. I was like, yeah, Mum lets me watch anything up there. So we put Poltergeist on. My fucking God. I think it's because it was a kid involved in it. And that's why, like, as a kid, I was like...
That weird little fortune teller lady who could speak with a ghost and her voice creeped the shit out of me.
Oh, it's that... Yeah, and I couldn't tell my mum. I couldn't. We kept saying, "Why aren't you sleeping?" And I couldn't tell her.
No, because she'd kill you.
Yeah, honestly, one of the scariest films as a kid, Jurassic fucking Park.
Yeah, see,
you were probably slightly older.
I was too old for it at that point.
I was about 11 when I went to cinema to see that.
Yeah,
and come out to cinema and was like the whole raptor scene at the end.
For me, it was Aliens. My parents had recorded it. We had those free Sky movie weekends. My parents had recorded Aliens and Highlander. Right, and we'd watch me, and they'd gone out, classic as they did. They'll go out, leave me alone with my older brother, and we were like, let's watch Highlander. Fucking brilliant soundtrack, awesome kick, like, everything's great. And then at the end of it, it clicks into Aliens, and we're like, ooh, what's this? Shh, it's not one we're supposed to watch. Let's watch it. Shit me up for ages, that movie. Shit me up for ages. I cannot now, even now. The sound of the movement detector as it goes,
it's so good.
Creeps me out. I'm just
it is so good.
Anyway, let's talk about indie games.
So yeah, I've not played tons this week, but I kind of, rather than what I used to kind of dabble in lots of indie games. I'm now trying to focus on one and finish one.
Yeah.
Or two if I can get around to doing two. But yeah, shall I kick off what we played first?
Yeah, you kick off because I've got something I want to talk about with the ones I've been playing that I'm interested in your opinion on.
Okay. So I spoke last week about A Knight's Quest. Tom dabbled in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wasn't really impressed with it. Really didn't like the game. And A Knight's Quest, to give context before I go into what it is a new game from Curve Digital. And I do know because I literally was playing the other day. Can't remember the developer's name now. Dan's going to find out.
I'm going to look up while you're talking.
He's a kind gentleman. But it's effectively a game that looks to take huge inspiration from Zelda games. 3D open worlds, not open world, 3D action-adventure Zelda games with a sprinkling of platforming. That's kind of what they're going for. They've gone for a kind of cutesy look on the characters, the world. And so I jumped into that. Not hugely excited because Tom was so down on it short amount he played, and what I saw Tom play, I was like, I wasn't blown away. But I sat down, I did finish the game. Who's the Devez?
I'm trying to find out. My internet's been really slow.
I did sit down and I managed to finish the game. And I'm unfortunately, Tom, I mean, I think Tom was being a bit too harsh. Because he was like, it's just bad. The game isn't bad. Like, straight up, the game isn't bad. However, it's not good. I think it struggles to find an audience. Now, it has certain parts that are genuine copy and paste Ocarina of Time. Like, locking onto an enemy. And some of the models, I'm like, is this a skeleton from Ocarina of Time? And there's these little blobs that pop later on. I'm like, pretty sure this is just from Ocarina of Time. Now, the story goes, you play as this young guy called Rusty, this knight dude, who comes back to his town, and there's this weird dark crystal hovering in the sky, and the town's mayor goes, oh no, we need to get these heroes to save the dark crystal and to defeat the dark crystal. And all of a sudden, they tell you this fable of there's these 3 knights that are locked away in temples, and you need to go and save their armour to then revive these spirit knights to then bring them back and kill the dark crystal. You know, it's classic. You're not surprised by it. The dungeons play very much like Zelda dungeons. You go in there, there's a little bit of combat, there's puzzles, and then there's always an end boss to fight. The combat is super fucking easy. Like, I died once in the whole game. In my whole 4.5 hour playthrough, I died once to a boss, and that was it. And that was more because I was trying to do something stupid. I was trying to see if I could combo different magic skills. Didn't work. So the combat's super easy. Puzzles are, you get 3 puzzles that feel like filler because they're so flipping easy to finish, and then 1 puzzle that actually stump you and stop you for a little bit, and then the boss you just trounce them normally straight away. I said to you earlier, they try to play on, oh, you've got this element magic skill and this boss is doing wind damage, what do you use? And it's like, oh, come on, really? So it's pretty simple for that. Now, the issue where I say is it struggles to find its audience or who it's going for is, I feel like this game could work for, like, kids.
Yeah.
And, like, if I had a kid and they were very much going, I want to play Zelda, and I'm like, I'm not spending 50 quid on a fucking Zelda game for you. I could drop the 15 quid on this. And I think they'd be happy. I think they'd finish it and be like, oh, this is fine, it's happy. Like, they could play it. It's easy enough for them to play. But then there are a couple of puzzles in there that are, I would say, probably would require help from an adult, because they are, like, they had me stumped and I was like, what the hell do I do here? Like, and it took a little bit of thought process. And then on the flip side of that, it's not for adults because it is just too easy. Even the case of, I used the comparison of like Sunday morning cartoons or Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Where it's like you want that lazy, easy to digest content. This is just too easy to digest. So I was just like playing the game and like, why am I playing this game? It's not offering anything. There's no collectibles to find on it. There's no challenge in the enemies. There's no leveling up stuff. Zelda has that intrigue of, oh, now I not go to the next dungeon because I want to get this. Or
how can you make a 3D platformer without collectibles nowadays?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there are collectibles, but normally games do collectibles like obvious, at least one couple of obvious ones.
Because that tells you then you've got to search for the other ones.
I couldn't find anything obvious, like not a single thing obvious.
Right.
It wants to be Zelda, and that is its biggest inspiration. It takes other inspiration from other platforming games, but to the point when you get a new sword and shield, it holds up above the head and it just spins in the air, and when you unlock a new door, it makes a little sound effect just like Zelda used to do, or still does probably. And it was absolutely fine. I'm not completely annoyed that I spent 4.5, maybe 5 hours playing the game, but I'm never going to go back and play the game again. I can't sit here and necessarily say, you must go play this game.
Yeah.
If you're a Zelda fan or a platforming fan, you're probably going to have some fun with it, but I'm not going to say it's going to blow you away. It's the kind of game that if you was like, oh, it's on sale for $4.99 on the Switch store, I'd be like, do you know what? Grab it. You might
give it a go.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I am with Knight's Quest.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find who the developers were because I updated my iPhone recently, and now it's like, oh, you need this app, you need this app. Welcome to a nightmare of hell. I don't know what they've done.
I think it's a weird name like Cole Klein. I think it's Cole Klein or Code Klein.
Calvin Klein?
It's like a French. I think it's a French developer called Koeklein, like Cole Clean or Cole Klein.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a night's quest. And I got the key through today for Stranded Sales.
You are a happy man there.
Yes, I've only played 40 minutes of this game. I was told yesterday that I'm going to have the game key sent today, so I took my Switch to work, thinking I can play some of this. And it literally came through at lunch, so I was like, I'm going to go pump the balls up in the store cupboard.
Is that a euphemism?
Yep. Knowing I had done that at the beginning of the week, and so I sat there basically on the balls. We've actually made quite a little comfy sofa.
Nice.
Played Switch for 40 minutes. Stranded Sales. I didn't get into what you would expect the game to be. I literally got to the part where what you expect the game to be starts.
Right.
There's a bit of a build up beforehand. Yeah. You're on this weird thing where you're in this town, and guess what? It's all very grey and murky, and it's all like, well, this is boring. And it's all a case of all these people had farms, but factories moved in and corporations took away the farms.
God
and
damn
your
capitalism.
dad, who's a Captain Charles of... I mean, he looks a lot like a pirate. But
Nice.
Captain Charles, who's like, we're going to sail to this new free land where we can do what we want. We're going to take anyone who wants to come with us. So you jump on the boat and you go there. And you arrive at this land. It's all vibrant and colourful. And you have to do these little tasks.
Is this the English leaving the industrialised Victorian era to head to America?
Possibly.
Right, okay.
Possibly. But it's... that's kind of where the I say the story goes. The story is minimal in this game, but I finally got there. You kind of like get given a little workshop house, and it's like, this is your house, and then all of a sudden it goes bang, and I literally saw 5 minutes of, you can go do this, 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 and I was like, oh Jesus Christ, oh my God, there's so much to do.
The pressure.
So that's all I can say on the game. It's very cute. It handles very nicely. It does something that is so underappreciated in these kind of games, and that is you can run when you're holding stuff. And I know that sounds stupid.
No.
But when you pick stuff up, you can run anyway, but then you normally carry something heavy and it's like, ugh, and there's this weird little sweat animation, and you're like, I get it's heavy.
Yeah.
This is a video game, okay, where I'm fishing 24 hours a day. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
Okay? And then this doesn't. You just pick up arrow and you carry on running. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. It's very charmy. It's very light-hearted. It seems like once you put probably, I'm going to say, I'm 40 minutes now. I'm going to say about 2 hours to probably get a grip of, okay, that's what that is, that's what that is, that's what that is. It then seems like it's very much going to be a case of, if you want to play half an hour of the game, play half an hour of the game. If you want to play 10 hours of the game, play 10 hours of the game.
Okay.
There is a story going on, which is the whole, like, you got to help people out, and the story is
Stardew Valley-esque sort of thing.
Yeah, Stardew Valley-esque. It actually already feels like it's got a lot more depth than Stardew Valley.
Okay.
Purely by the fucking size of the map that's popped up, and I was like, oh wow, this is a whole island. You can't get to certain places because you need to craft certain things to get up certain mountains and all that. Running around the island a little bit, it does seem like the island has like kind of different ecosystems.
Okay, yeah.
So you have one that looks like it's going to be quite snowy. So it's going to be a case of, oh, I need something that's frozen. I'm going to have to go over there. And what's going to be the question with this is, how deep did the mechanics go in terms of allowing you to that kind of freedom to do what you want, but also
sort of
reward you
sandbox
for your playing time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, Tom didn't like my time at Porsche because he was like, it was too much crafting. To make a car, you had to make the wheels, and then you had to make the chassis, then you had to make the windows, and you had to make this, and all these parts. And I was like, that's what fucking building a thing is. Like, you don't just go, oh, here's 3 pieces of wood, here's a rubber, I've now got a car. Like, so I liked it, but I could see why people coming from Stardew Valley into something like My Time Porsche were like, well, what? I've actually got to craft all these bits. This is going to be a case of, how are they going to handle it? Are they going to go down the Harvest Moon place and it's like, rubber, strawberry on a plank of wood, you've now got a cow? Like, or is it going to be a case of, you need to do this. So that's kind of where I'm interested in where it goes. But at the moment, very cutesy. If anyone is a fan of Stardew Valley, My Time at Porsche, or anything like that, then I can already say, and I'll put my neck on the line and say, just you'll enjoy this game. But yeah,
cool.
Dan, that's it.
Right, that's it.
Danny boy.
Okay, so mine isn't actually different from last week's episode. So last week's episode, I played Flotsam and Cat Quest. And I'm going to get to Cat Quest in a bit because I'm interested in something that's been bugging me about it. Mm-hmm. But Flotsam, I am seriously falling in love with.
Oh, wow.
Because it's such a gentle, real-time strategy game, but I'm not fighting against another army who are busy building their own water world base.
That's not what you know yet.
That's soon the seagulls will come along.
Kevin Costner's will pop up in the morning.
Yeah. This little gill face comes along, and I'll be like, "Oh, for God's sake, he was gonna." But there's so much going on, and the more I play it, the more bits open, and how I cook fish, and I've got these, and my storage farms are growing, and there's not enough space, and I'm constantly sending ones out to collect, and the different paths you can take. So you've got a map that allow you to choose your route through the game. So you can be like, well, actually, at this point, I've done really well. I've got enough houses. I've collected enough junk to be able to build bits. My water factory's running well, so I've got fresh water. I'm able to fish. There's enough storage going on. I could do with another person because I know I can build them a house. I know that we're getting enough resources and we're learning enough technology to upgrade these things and go forward. So another person. And then there are also times when you're going, well, I could have another person. But if I go that route, I can get new technology, which might advance me further. But then I might run the risk of not having enough people to be able to pull the resources together.
So to get people, do you have to find survivors?
You find survivors who are hidden on
islands.
Can
you make people? Like, is there like
so
a reproductive
far that hasn't
system
been a shag button,
okay.
right?
You know, some of them have like
If
Age of Empire classically had build houses,
and
over time they reproduce. Yeah,
and so far I haven't seen that, but that would be great if I did. No, you usually rescue them, but they're also like, so each time you move, you go to a new area, and that area will have different islands you can explore, and some of them will have people on to rescue. Some of them will have a waterworks, so you can just grab a whole load of fresh water without having to use your pumps and bits like that, which is great at points. And then some of them you'll find new technologies or bits that'll help you progress your technology tree. Mm-hmm. And you get to choose how that advances. So you can be like, well, actually, I want my waterworks to be better, so I'm going to put all the technology in them. But that means your storage will suffer because you won't be able to make the bigger storage ones because you haven't invested in that side. So there's this real management of how the people grow and go through, but it's always done so gently.
Okay.
It always feels relaxing and calm to do it, but you've always got this niggling bit in the back of your head that's like, get this right, or you're going to kill them all. So they're not going to make it.
So there's like a substantial amount of gameplay there, because I was concerned the fact that, I mean, we played it, I didn't even play it, you played it.
Yeah.
Back in April at Res, and it was like very early, wasn't it? Like super early.
Yes.
And then now, this is 5 months on.
Well,
and is it?
I remember back then talking to them about the fact I was worried. Well, does anything happen? Like, so there's this great big whale that goes through. So like, so at some point that comes along, or there are tidal waves. Because I'm thinking Sim City at this point, and I was like, if they don't have these bits, it's going to be a little bit dull. What's my reason for progressing or wanting more? But at that point, we hadn't really seen the map. Yeah. And your reason to progress is to get to the next area to find new bits, which then allows you to build a bigger floating island, I suppose, a bigger community on the sea, your own personal water world. It is just like the movie Waterworld in the end, because you're getting fuel which will allow you to move through, and you're constantly, if you like strategy games where you're building an empire in a way, slowly through recycled goods and that, you're going to enjoy this.
Okay.
If you want a game where you're like, well, I want to build an army to fight another army, so then that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. This is about surviving. It's a survival game and managing people and building things and slowly progressing here and there and everywhere so that you can get the right parts in the right places. Mm-hmm. I'm really enjoying it, and it's only in early access at the moment.
Yeah.
So this still isn't the final thing.
Product.
But what they've got there is so much I haven't even opened or touched yet.
Oh, okay.
And there's so much more I'm pretty sure I'm doing wrong. Because there is a tutorial, you read the books. I found that later after having played for a while. I'm like, oh look, there's a tutorial in these books. I haven't read the books. I found them and went, jog on, let's keep going. I'm going to play this. What does this do? I'm pretty sure if I read them, I know exactly what I was supposed to do and how to get the bits going. But I'm really enjoying this lost at sea, struggle to survive, yet slowly you're building this huge sprawling empire and desperately trying to get these bits together. So I'm really enjoying it. It's Pajama Llamas. It's on Steam at the moment in early access. And I fully recommend going on and just having a go.
Checking it out.
Just checking this out because it is...
That's awesome. No,
it's
not
really enjoyable.
I think it's 15 quid.
Is that it? It's well worth 15 quid.
I think it's 15 quid. Because I looked at it, I was going to buy it. I mean, they have offered me a key, but I was going to buy it, and then I actually picked up, which I'm going to play for next week's session, the skateboarding one.
Yeah.
Which I then read about, and apparently it is so hard. It is like a full skateboarding sim where... You're not landing
3
perfectly.
4 weeks learning how to just do a little ollie.
Yeah, yeah. So that might be an interesting stream, actually. But
just face plants for an hour.
And you played Cat Quest 2.
Cat Quest 2. See, now this is the one I wanted to talk about, not more as a review, because let's get the review out of the way, because I don't really have time to go through the review. Cat Quest 2 is a great game. Mm-hmm. Follows on perfectly from Cat's Quest, which won our Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful game. It's beautiful RPG, a simple RPG that you can just happily play through. The quests are so quick to jump into that you're always just going, oh, I'll just do another one. I'll just do another one. Oh, I've earned enough to get my character to build up this way. Oh, brilliant. You're always getting something. You always have that reward system that you don't tend to get from a lot of the modern RPGs where they want you to fork over cash. This one is very much, you paid for it, here you go, just enjoy. You're building. What I want to talk about with it is, what do you want from a sequel? Because as I'm playing this, I'm like, there's something about this game that isn't really grabbing me. And I realised what it was that it is Cat's Quest. Cat's Quest 2 is Cat's Quest. There are little bits that are added to it. There's a multiplayer aspect to it now, so you can play with a friend.
There's dogs.
The AI is nice, so you can play as the dog. The AI works really well when you don't have a partner to play with. Mm-hmm. There are more trees to go through, there's more equipment, there's more of that. But, in essence, it's exactly the same as the first one. And I started thinking about, well, the amount of bands who release albums, and if their second album is vastly different than their first, which everyone fell in love with, they're slated. They're like, oh my God, this is awful. Because what everyone wants is a repeat of the first one. Huh. Well, that's what Cat Quest 2 does. And it's great at it. It does it really well. But there's part of me that's like, well, I've had that in Cat Quest 1.
It's hard, isn't it? Because Cat Quest, so if you were to talk to me about something, I don't know, let's say Bioshock, for example.
Yeah.
I would want that to be a story progression or a new story, because it is a story game. Whereas if you were to say something to me like Stardew Valley 2, I would probably want more Stardew Valley with more features.
Yeah.
Minecraft 2, when that comes, Minecraft with more features and 8K support. And ray tracing as well.
Ray tracing,
So, it's hard because Cat Quest isn't a story-driven RPG. It has a story.
But it's not story-driven. Yeah,
so,
it's not like that.
Part of you would say, it has a story, I want a progression of story, and you're saying the story doesn't really...
There are bits that do, as you play further on, you realise they are connected. But it's not in the same way that I feel it's vitally important, I must know. It's an enjoyable... I think that's it. Cat's Quest is just enjoyable. It's not that I'm sitting there going, oh, I need to know more. Like when I first played Final Fantasy VII, I had to do it all. Yeah. And then I had to play the whole thing again because I loved it and all of that lot. And the story was so deep, I wanted to know what was happening next. With this story, yeah, it's great. It's a really good story. But I didn't feel the need for it because I had that story.
Yeah.
And it's where do you stand with what should a sequel do? Should a sequel go, right, we know you like Cat's Quest.
Yep.
Here it is. We could repeat that with some slight tweaks to it. You know, here's the next Spice Girls album. It's the same as the first Spice Girls album. We know you all bought that shit. here's the next one. It's pretty much the same. So you'll buy that shit again, or is it that sort of okay? We've done this style of music. Here's this brand new genre.
Well, that's what happened with something like who was it? Darkness. Do you remember that? They had the Permission to Land album, which people went
mental for. Yeah.
Then they released an album that they said was more true to their roots and was a lot more guitar focused, and people were like,
"Yeah, this is rubbish. Yeah. They didn't want it." I
was like, "This is a good album." Like, I thought it was perfectly fine, but people were like, "No, it's not poppy enough."
Yeah.
Like, well, not a pop band.
I always remember, as a Metallica fan, I remember absolutely loving like Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, even Into Black, and then they released Load, and I was like, "What is this?" And I hated it at the time.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it now. But I really hated it at the time because it was like, what is this soft rock shit?
I was too young for the Metallica thing. I like it now, but I had that with Muse. I love Muse.
Yeah,
like, Muse Absolution album was so
stuff.
good. Like the first two albums, Plug-in Baby and Absolution, were very quirky but quite heavy rock.
Yeah.
And then they went into this weird psychedelic pop stuff, and I was like, what the fuck is Supermassive Black Hole? I'm like, this isn't fucking... What is this shit? Again, I like it now, but at the time I was like, I want more Absolution. Bring me Absolution.
But I think that's where this Cat Quest 2 comes in. Cat Quest and Cat Quest 2 are the first two albums of Muse.
I see what you mean, yeah.
So would I want Cat Quest 2 to actually be that abstract, out there, supermassive black hole? Isn't it? Which actually in the end is better than the first two albums because it was progressive.
So you feel like you feel like it's a safe sequel?
I think it's absolutely the right sequel to make.
Okay.
But I can't get as excited about it because it's Cat Quest.
You've already finished it twice now.
And I've done Cat's Quest and I loved Cat's Quest, but it's Cat Quest again.
Yeah.
So yes, no, they did absolutely the right thing. They should definitely have made Cat's Quest 2 exactly how it is. It's the right thing to do. But as someone who's always looking for something new and interesting, I can't get as excited about it. Yeah. And I feel bad because I know I should be going, this is a brilliant game. They're doing everything I think they should do with it.
Yeah.
Look at me, woohoo, isn't this great, go and
so
buy
if
it. So
someone's watching now or listening and they have never played Cat Quest 1, never played Cat Quest 2, what one do you recommend to them?
Cat Quest 2.
Cat Quest 2.
Yeah.
Is it Evil Dead 2? Because Evil Dead 2 is Evil Dead 1.
Oh,
with a budget, isn't it?
Yeah, with a budget.
It literally is the same story. It's
yes.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Minus the forest scene, which we won't go into what the scene does, but it's an interesting scene that doesn't appear in number 2, is referred to in number 2.
It is referred to in number 2, yeah, but I don't think they could get away with it the second time.
It's when you're first watching it and you're like, okay, they're going there. Don't watch that on a date.
I don't now want to compare that to Cat's Quest and Cat's Quest 2. I don't think that's fair to the Gentle Bros. I think they've done a lot of really good work.
They are.
I would go for Cat's Quest 2 mainly because it has that nice multiplayer actor part to it.
Yeah.
I do prefer the story in the first one.
Okay.
Because they really do. There's a lot of in-jokes in there. But I think I like that because I played a lot of RPGs. Mm-hmm. So it has that. Cat's Quest 2 has those. But I think, when you've done it in the first one...
they're just a bit...
It's like watching someone do Monty Python jokes. And you're like, you know what, you did a pretty good job of that. But Monty Python did it better, so let's go watch Life of Brian.
Okay.
So I've really enjoyed it, but I have this bit of... Am I wrong because...
No, I think it's a fair argument.
I'm so confused.
I think it's a genuine fair argument. It's a good point to raise as well, actually, because it is that what is the perfect sequel. There's so many times when we say movies have the sequel's better than the original, but is it really? Like, why is it better?
Well, there aren't many that are better than the original movie.
There's not many, no.
You can go towards Godfather. Aliens, I think, is an unfair conversation because they're two different movies.
Terminator is a fair argument, but Terminator 1's still great.
Yeah, but you can't beat Guns N' Roses in Terminator 2. And the bit where he pulls out, he's got the box of roses, he pulls the shotgun out.
Yeah.
Hello.
And the reloading.
Yep.
You're just like... Also, your brother found a gun in Destiny that does that. When you reload, it goes...
Does it really? Oh, God, I want that gun.
Yeah. But no.
So yes, that's what I've been playing, and then of course I was sent today before I came here a key for
two keys in the end, 3 keys. I can't remember what I sent you. I sent you. Did I just send you just 1 key?
Oh, one didn't work.
Oh, one didn't work.
Because it was North American.
Yeah, So I sent you one.
So I got one. Klein.
Which we can't actually talk about until next week.
Right. So next week.
On Thursday.
We will talk about that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Should we go on some news?
Let's do it.
As you guys know, we've been saying there's tons now. Not tons of news now. It's really dying down. But I was surprised about stuff coming this week about release dates or about game announcements. Not release dates, game announcements. And kicking us off first, Blowfish Studios, who made a game called, I want to say Morpheus. I played it on Switch, and it was absolutely fine exploration game. It was like an indie take on No Man's Sky.
Right.
It was fine. I've announced a new game called Winter Ember. Now, Winter Ember is a stealth action game where you play as Arthur Artorias, who has been exiled for 7 years and comes back to seek revenge on the people that murdered their family. That is all I can tell you about the game. I've seen screenshots of the game, and it's kind of does it in an isometric. Was it Styx? The Goblin one. What's the Goblin game? That weird.
Styx.
It was Styx. That kind of camera angle. So
Right.
that kind of that actiony third person isometric spin around camera angle. But I can't tell you anything about the gameplay because you guys have seen a trailer that they've released, and we've said several times now, AAA studios can get away with it with a franchise. If EA put out a trailer that's got 2D drawings of Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, Lionel Messi, and then at the end of it says FIFA 21, people lose their shit. People go mental for it, okay? That's fine. They've built up that franchise.
Yeah.
If an indie game does that with a narrative over it and it's got 2D drawings on a trailer, it doesn't work because you're trying to sell a game and people go, oh, well, yeah, what am I looking forward to?
I think a lot of people think, oh, they're releasing a new anime. They probably don't even know it's a game.
Was
they're
very,
like, oh, is it an anime?
It was very anime focused, the trailer. But the screenshots didn't look anime focused. That's what I couldn't get my head around. But yeah, it was, I don't know. It's a new game announced, so obviously we're excited to see a new game announced. Winter Ember. Don't know anything about it. Don't know what it plays like. And we'll wait to hear more on it. It is coming 2020, that much I do know. Going on next is we have a game release date for you of Dark Devotion. Now, I know some of our patrons have spoke to me about Dark Devotion in the Discord. And that's, it's a I'm going to say it in the most layman terms possible. It's a 2D Souls-like. It's the best way to describe it. It's a Metroidvania 2D Souls-like. It's one of the best ones I've played that have done that. It far superior to Blasphemous, the one I played recently.
Well, yeah.
It's very dark. It's very grotesque. It doesn't try to be arrogant and pretentious like I felt Blasphemous tried to do sometimes. Like, oh, you don't know about this part of religion, and it's just like, no, I don't fucking know that's part of religion, you douche. Like, what are you on about? Why are you doing this? This is just a case of, what I liked about Dark Devotion is the more you explore, the more you're rewarded. And you go off and do stuff. You have a hub base, and you go off and explore these different paths. You unlock new paths and all things like that. I haven't finished the game. I did check my Steam account last night to check how far I'm in the game. I'm 21 hours in the game, and I haven't finished it. So there's some legs there. If people are big fans of stuff like Dead Cells, they're fans of Sundered, of any Metroidvania action 2D game, you're going to enjoy Dark Devotion. And it's coming to PS4 and Nintendo Switch on the 24th of October. It's available now on PC. It's coming to Switch. Wouldn't be a bad place to play this game, actually.
We so need to get sponsorship from Switch.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I dived into it. There's no set release for Xbox at the moment. But yeah. The next one, Zodiac. I put Zodia, but I don't know why I put Zodia. Zodiac Interactive have announced Shadowplay Metropolis Foe. It's what they're calling a story-driven card battler. Now, every time I see card battler, I scour to see what terminology they're using, because you can pretty much sum up what the game is going to be by the terminology. They didn't once use the term CCG or TCG, so there's not going to be any multiplayer element to it, in my opinion, probably anyway. That's what I've normally found out from these games. Yeah. There was no mention of card collecting, so it's going to very much be a kind of Slay the Spire, which is fine. Slay the Spire is great. The issue I already have with Zodiac Interactive is so it's a card battler game. It's set in a cyberpunk world. Fine, I love cyberpunk stuff. I like card battlers. This should be you as well.
Yeah,
should be barking right up our tree. The game art or the card art that they show you in the trailer, which is a very short clip of the card art, but looks hyper generic.
Yeah.
It looks the kind of card art I'd expect from like a mini game of a main game.
Yes.
It doesn't look like an actual mechanic of a game. And then the actual battle mechanics seem like you're fighting... Like, it's like first person and you're fighting against people and you've got to play cards to fight them.
Do you know those Connect 3 games where you've got your whole load of gems and you've got to fight the bad guys by connecting 3? And you're like, oh, I've connected... Is it? I think there's a Final Fantasy one you can play.
There is,
It shows the bad guys at the top. You connect the 3 and then, the bad guys take damage.
They're really big in the Asian market. They're massive.
Yeah. Well, they make a absolute ton of money because you just I didn't beat that round, here's some more. It kind of felt like that looking at it,
without the match 3, but it felt like that.
Was,
you play
your cards, but the whole top bit looked like exactly the same as here's a couple of 2D bad guys. The
visuals look very uninspired. It's I don't want to crap on a game before it's even out, but you're selling a game to two people who love card battlers with cyberpunk setting. So if we're looking at a trailer and thinking, damn, this looks boring, damn, this looks dull, then chances
you've
are...
missed your target audience.
You've kind of missed your target audience, and this year has been a year of deck building games.
Seriously
and
has.
it also didn't use the term deck building, which really irritated me. It's a card battler. So... you had Slay the Spire, you had What Boy Games,
Trials of Fire,
you had the one that released in Alpha, Griftlands.
Yes, that was a good one.
There was what was the Steampunk World one on the Switch? SteamWorld Dig, but SteamWorld Quest.
SteamWorld
Quest launched. Like you had these deck building games that all launched this year. Now this is set to release later this year. And I think it's just going to miss the market completely.
So, I mean, for me, both Trials of Fire and Slay the Spire have just been both so damn good at what they've done. And Trials of Fire have completely, just constantly updated and add new. And like every other week I'm seeing something new from What Boy going... we've added this, we're doing this. I mean, I'm so behind on what that game does now. It's ridiculous.
I need to get back onto it. But
so how are you going to jump into that market with...
So if anyone is listening, watching, who is a fan of deck building games, then you've probably heard of Slay the Spire. It's probably the biggest deck builder to release this year. But definitely check out Trials of Fire as well. It's only on PC at the moment. I don't know if it'll ever go to console, but it's on PC at the moment. It's very good and it's constantly updated. I think it's £14, which is
ridiculously cheap. For
super
what you
reasonable for the game. But yes, moving on to our final piece of news. Told it was a short week for news, guys. Cat Quest 2. Dan has already spoke about it. Cat Quest 2 is already available now on PC and on Apple Arcade, but it is coming to all consoles: PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch on the 24th of October. So if you've been waiting for the game, if you're excited of what Dan said about the game, if you're thinking, do you know what, I didn't play Cat Quest, but I like the look of it, I'm going to pick up Cat Quest 2, grab it up on Switch, PS4, Xbox One on the 24th of October. I'm probably going to grab it on the Switch.
Can I say as well, that's where you should grab it, because 2-player is actually a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm playing it on PC, and it's good, but I also know that if I could just pop out those controllers... And me and Grace play it, and just Grace is my daughter. Then me and some random chick play.
Some woman called Grace.
Some woman called Grace. Don't tell my wife.
To walk around town. You Grace?
You Grace? I'm looking for a Grace. There's a Grace. Here you go. Take this. Let's play.
And that's it for the news. That is it for the news. Which takes on to our main topic, guys. And as I said, this is a bit more of a light-hearted, kind of jokey main topic. But we had this was inspired by me playing a Knight's Quest earlier this week and playing through a Knight's Quest, which is very heavily inspired by Zelda and other kind of noughties, I hate saying that name, fucking noughties, early 2000s platforming games. Now, in my opinion, not overdone, but very heavily games or franchises that are used to inspire indie games are Zelda. It's huge.
Yeah.
Metroid and Castlevania, the Metroidvania in general is massive in the indie game market. Doom and Quake have started making a real big appearance in like retro style arcade or arena shooters. So I've said to Dan, I gave him very short notice to be fair. Choose a game franchise or a game of something that you would like to see an indie game studio go, hey, we're releasing this game. Or, hey, you remember when that game launched back in 97? Well, this is pretty much that, but an indie version. This is our version of it. What he would like to see there. Do you want me to kick us off, or do you want to...
You kick us off, because I've just forgotten the name of the game, which is really bad.
So, mine is literally, I think, impossible right now. It's impossible in the future now. I want a point-blank style gun game.
Fuck yes!
Made by an indie game
I don't care
studio.
what I was about to look up. Jesus God, yes.
But I want the indie game studios to just go, okay, or one like someone like Team 17, who have got a few IPs under their belt already with indie games, reach out to Team Meat or something like that and be like, look, we want to make this shooter. I should probably explain because some people listening might not
probably won't even know what Point
Blank is, or what I mean by shooter. They'll be like, what, like Call of Duty? What I mean by shooter is you have an actual gun, a light gun, that you point at the TV and you shoot. And Point Blank was an old arcade game, but was very much kind of just spaghetti western stupid, wasn't it? Like,
yes,
you'd have like these little targets pop up, and you had to do these silly games, you had to shoot beer bottles down, and it was stupid. Point Blank. But I would like to see one where they can get like Super Meat Boy in there. They can get Yoku's Express in there. They get Hyper Light Drifter in there. And these little weird mini games where you point a gun at the TV and you shoot the TV. Not literally shoot the TV, because in the current day and age, people listening might think I'm actually talking about shooting the TV. But do gun. I know they don't work on LCD TVs. I know that's a thing. But is there
Well, why not? Because if you think about your Switch controller, as you aim it towards the screen,
so
and move
you
up,
could still get
you can do it with that, and you've got the PlayStation Move or Jerk Off, whatever it's called, that you can aim towards the screen. We should be able to do the same thing.
I mean, this is where, forget fucking Xbox Scarlet and PS5. They should be putting money in technology to bring back light guns.
Light gun games.
Yeah.
Virtua Cop.
Yeah.
That was, what was
Time Crisis.
Dino Hunter? Do you remember the one with the
Hunter,
dino?
oh my god. Oh. Time Crisis was one of my favourites.
Yeah, love Time Crisis. That was amazing.
When we were on the way back from Scotland, actually, complete digression here.
Yeah.
We stopped at a service station and Sarah was knackered and she went into a toilet. And I didn't do the toilet. And next to me was a Rambo arcade machine. And I put a coin in and she come out to me going...
It's like fucking Operation Wolf, man. When you used to have the SMGs on the arcade machine and just...
She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? I've got 3 lives left, love. She watched me for a good 5 minutes. So, but I was brilliant. Just like people jumping up, and it was the whole FMV. So like they're filmed, and you shoot the person, like,
and you'd have the grenades or the knife busy spinning in towards you. You'd have to shoot out the sky.
Oh, that's so good. But yeah, bring back light gun games. Point Blank with an indie game franchise. That's what I'm saying. Do it now, and I'll buy it.
I think loads of people would buy that, to be honest, because we had the stupid box thing, Nintendo Labo or Labia or whatever the feck it was
80 quid for cardboard.
Yeah.
80 quid with a gun.
I'm there.
Yeah. 2
plastic guns, 1 pink, 1 blue. Let's do this shit.
That's it.
I am sold.
I remember when I brought Point Blank and I was so happy. I'd saved up for it for so long. PS1, wasn't it? It was PS1, yeah. Jesus Christ.
I wrote, because my mom, I was about to say my parents, but it was not my dad, it was definitely my mom. My mom was full on anti-gun. We could not have guns in the house, anything like that. But as soon as like PlayStation, that lot started, you have the plug-in guns that work. We had shitloads of the bastards. It was like we're playing Virtua Cop. My mom's in there holding it gangster style, just blowing the shit. You're like, yes, here we go. I love this. I've still got light guns. But I can't play any of the games with the light guns.
They do only work on CRT. Don't they? Jesus.
And I don't have that TV anymore. Also, I don't want one. It takes up so much bloody
so
room.
big and but
oh my god,
Dan.
So, right, this is taking us back a huge amount of time. You've got to remember I'm old. right? That is something you got to go in here. But there used to be a game called Nightbreed. It was Clive Barker's Nightbreed. It's a horror book that was made into a horror movie, and there was a computer game of it. And what I really want indie game developers to get into is recreating good horror books. Right? I want us to move away from this whole, oh, you turn around a corner, there's a little girl that goes boom, or it's dark, here's a throbbing noise. Let's go back to the source material of some of the greatest writers out there, greatest horror writers out there, and make actually a really good scary game. And Nightbreed was one of the games that terrified me, because there's one point in the game Nightbreed where you're being chased by this big bad guy. He looks like he's got dreadlocks. He's this monster beast. He's got dreadlocks. He's let's see. You might have to flick through that. You might
got on eBay for five.
Oh yeah, it's 30 quid. It's dirt cheap. It was by Ocean Games or something.
Commodore Amiga.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I had it on the Amiga, and I feckin' love this game. But there's one point where you are running away from this guy, and he's chasing behind you, and you've got to hammer the button. But if you hammer it too fast, you get exhausted. So he then catches you, or if you hammer it too slowly, he catches you, and you always knew you were screwed at that point. But it was just so twisted and weird, and it took you into this game. And I think indie developers are the ones who can really bring this through to us, because they're not restricted by the Marvel, well, if you're going to do an 18, we're going to cut this amount of money off there. Yeah. I think they're the only ones who can really go out there and do it. And these are the ones that I want to see. I want a good horror game.
I can't remember the last time I played a good AAA horror game. I honestly can't remember.
I've played loads where they've gone, oh, this is horror game, and then you get a jump scare, and then you're kind of bored. Or they do, there's a monster you can't kill, insta-death, oh, hang on, I'm dead.
The only
so
one,
now
the one that done it best last
fear
time was probably Alien Isolation, but then that kind of got repetitive quite quickly.
Yeah, because as soon as you die in a game, you
You're
kind of get bored of the death.
Oh, I say that. Thingy was good.
What's that one?
What's the 80s slasher flick you play through? They gave it on PlayStation Plus one time.
Not Night Trap.
No. Do you remember it was like the film? It was like a Telltale style game,
right? Where
you moved around that, but it was like an 80s slasher film, and they've recently done the Man of Medan, but the game was before that. It was.
I don't know.
Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Yeah, that was quite good.
Yeah.
That was quite good, but that still had that was more of a choose your own adventure sort of thing.
It was more of a slasher elements,
talky bits, hiding bits. I'd like to see a really good horror game done by an indie dev, because I don't think
Hellraiser.
Poltergeist, you've got to hug a static screen.
Jesus.
But I that's what I want to see an indie dev do, and they're not my type of games. You know me, I don't
like you said, they're the only ones that have the free license to do something that could break the mould.
Yeah, and could really be that too. It's kind of why I liked Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, because they really played with this idea. They could go where other AAA developers are too scared to go, because it wouldn't be saleable to the mass market. This is only going to get those niche people who want that.
Yeah.
I think part of it is because I'd like to be treated like I've got intelligence again. I do feel like so many games now treat us like we're thick. It's like going to the cinema where the movies have to explain why something happened. Oh. You're like, well, actually, thanks. I get that. I don't need to be spoon-fed the answer afterwards. And I think that's where a lot of horror games fall down in the end. They're like, oh, well, that wasn't real. It happened because of this. And here's this bit. And you're like... It's why I'm also worried about going to see... Go on.
So the issue with that is because maybe 80% of the public, general public, want to know why this happened. Want to know why that happened. And I said that coming from Sarah, who's something finishes and it's ambiguous, and I like it. I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, but it makes no sense. And I'm like, well, what do you think happened? I don't care. I want them to tell me what happened.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
Like, but that's probably what a majority of other people think as well. Which I don't like.
But then surely that's the point of a AAA. The triple and the A are there for the majority.
Yeah.
Indie developers are there for the rest of us who go, you know what? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't have to fit to your mold. This is my game how I want to do it, and I'm going to go and play with that. It's kind of like when we played Disco Elysium.
Yep.
It was really nice because I really felt like during that they were like, well, actually,
do what the hell you
this
want.
is you exploring the game.
Yeah.
We're not going to explain these bits to you or tell you why that's happened. I mean, just the different experiences we both had from that first bit was quite obvious. They were going, well, no, I'm going to treat you like an adult, like someone who has their own thoughts and their own intelligence, and what happens to you is going to be based on how you deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a horror game about. A horror game is to scare me, but beyond a very generic jump scare, which I go, ah, and then next time I see it, I won't. But if you really want to mess with my mind, you've got to let me be intelligent. It's why I like the very first Saw compared to the
first
others.
Saw's great, yeah.
The first Saw is a psychological.
The scene at the end, you're just like, what? Like, what?
Oh, by the way, Brian, Saw, let me ruin that one for you. The guy who's dead on the floor, he's not dead. He's not dead. It's a trick. He's the one running the trap.
Yeah.
Movies for you, Brian. Movies. You don't know Brian's one of our patrons.
He is, and you've been doing it all time. I'm going to say...
I think my favourite one
the
to
film
read was
is
Billy Madison.
The film is 10 years old. Over 10 years old. You're free to say what the hell you want.
It was mid-90s that 7 came out, and he's like, oh, you've just ruined 7 for me. Get over it. Jesus, Brian. Come on. Live in the now.
Yeah. Oh, God. But, yeah, well, that's it, guys.
That's it.
That is it. That's what happens when Tom's not here, mumbling, going, oh, I didn't really play anything this week.
We could be quite snappy. We get through it all.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed. The missus wouldn't let me play anything. No, I kind of had to just, like, rub her feet for a little bit, really. That was about it. But that's Tom. But yeah, when Tom's not here, we get through it nice and efficient.
You can see his shadow. This isn't my
he's
shadow.
He's poking me at the moment.
This is Tom's shadow.
He's annoyed by that. But guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you chose to do. We are going to stay on air for another 10 minutes or so for our Patreon listeners. If you want to jump over to patreon.com/Indicredible, $1 a month can get you access to pre and post show content. It's about 15 minutes at the beginning, and it's normally about 10-15 minutes at the end, half hour a week where we just chat nonsense. We don't chat about, sometimes we chat about indie games, sometimes we chat about absolutely anything. Last week we spoke about how Tom didn't get killed by getting naked.
Yeah, that's true. We
so
did.
if you want about that, there you go. And $1 a month gets you access to all the previous stuff as well. So you can check that out if you want over on patreon.com/Indicredible. But if you did watch us, guys, thank you for watching us. But we are available on all podcast services as well. So if you want to listen to us in the future, go download us or subscribe to us or whatever you want to do. Follow us on Spotify, on iTunes, on Soundcloud, on everywhere. But if you only listen to us and you want to if you want to see any of the games we were talking about today, then you can do over on youtube.com/Indicredible. Or just type Indicredible into Google. Then every game we spoke about, there will be a trailer playing behind us. So you can see us kind of trying to give context to what is going on in the background. But anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by. It's been a pleasure having you here. Until next time, from Dan.
I'll see you later.
At the Dice Bear, I was going to say.
That's right, yeah.
And if you want to find me, you can find me at What's Up Woody if you want it. Yeah, until next time, you guys just stay Indicredible.
See you later.